Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing A, B, C, D, E, F, G. This is the final sound check for Amber Behling funeral service, which will begin at 11 a.m. This live stream will continue to stream until it seated. This is a beautiful tribute. And I can tell you we are almost using every chair the building has. There's still a couple of seats up here. I think we're doing good. My name is Cardell Sackett, and I'm going to officiate the services today for Amber. And I want to just welcome all of you here. If somebody ever wonders if your life mattered, look around. It mattered big. And grateful that you're here. It's my prayer that you'll feel her spirit and God's spirit both bring you comfort as we go throughout these services today. The services will begin with a musical number, See You Again. And following that, we'll have a reading of the obituary. And that'll be by Kylie Nelson. Following that, Jeremy Behling will address us. And then I'm just going to prepare you right now because I can tell you it's hard to stand up here. But if you have a brief memory of Amber that you want to share, we're going to have a few moments where you can come up and share that. And the only reason I'm asking you to come up is because there's many friends that are logging on to the feed that is going out of this service today. And it's kind of good if they can hear you since your microphone's here.
Without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Damn, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through. That I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place. See you in a better place. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
I see you again.
We've come a long way
Came a long way.
from where we began.
You know we started.
Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
Let me tell you.
When I see you again.
Rush your boat, go out your way, and the vibe is feeling strong. It was small, turn to a friendship turn to a bond, and that bond will never be broken. The love will never get lost. And when brotherhood comes first, then the line will never be crossed. Established it on our own when that line had to be drawn, and that line is where we reach. So remember me when I'm gone. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
Let the light guide your way.
Amber Lynn Sill Hunsaker Behling passed away suddenly at 36 years old on July 24th, 2022 in a four-wheeler accident. She was born in Price, Utah on November 12th, 1986, and Amber was the daughter of Bill Sill and Shelley Carrick. Amber loved her family and especially her boys, whom she was so proud of. Loved watching them succeed. She loved going to the derby races, car races, and anything outdoors. Oh, so hard to read this. Being captain of her dart team was a joy to her. She always enjoyed playing loud music and dancing in the kitchen. Amber had a huge heart for all animals. Jeremy and her boys were the light of her life. Family and friends were very important to her, and she would do anything for them.
So, for those of you that know me, you know that I'm a mouthpiece, and sorry, babe, shit's gonna happen. But I love you. I never in a million years thought that I'd be writing something shit like this. I said, but here I am. Amber, baby, you're my love, my everything. I love you with all my heart. I know that you're right here and all around of all of us right now. But I still gotta say sorry, babe. But at least you can thank Twyla for telling me that I've got a time limit. So, first and foremost, I'm probably the last person that anybody wants to speak at their funeral. But, holy shit. I'm just gonna say sorry again because that's just me, and she was okay with that, so I'm okay with it. And the only ace that I got left up in my sleeve in this deck is that she's not here to yell at me and say, hey, stop it, knock that shit off. So, my green light. 5 years ago tomorrow, August 2nd, Wednesday, was when I first met her. The day before your wedding anniversary. It's kind of funny. She was pushing a stroller, and I was in a Nissan Maxima. We're both leaving Maverick over down here in Huntington. And I pulled up and rolled down the window and laughingly said, hey, want a race? And she smiled and giggled her little giggle. And to my surprise, I was like, when she said, yeah, sure. And I smiled, shook my head a little, laughed, and I waved as I pulled away. I was headed over to one of my friend's house. And like 10 minutes later, I see her turn the corner and start walking up the same road that I was sitting on. She come up and she smiled and giggled again and says, I guess you win. I guess I didn't need to give you that head start. Good thing it was big enough. And she laughed and just continued on around the corner over to her house. And I asked my buddy, I'm like, who the hell was that? And he's like, that's Amber. She's my neighbor. She lives right there. He says, she's single. Well, that was all it took for me. 30 seconds later, I was over there knocking on her door. And I don't know if it was the charm that I used or just my dashing blue eyes that she always said that she loved. But within a few minutes, I had her phone number. That weekend, I took her out on her first date. We went to dinner and a movie, and she wanted to watch Kidnap. I'm like, okay. 4 days into knowing somebody want to watch this movie about somebody kidnapping somebody. But that was what she wanted, so I was okay with that. And naturally, you know me, I fell asleep 10 minutes into the movie, head on her shoulder. And from there, we were a locked item. And the next few months were crazy for both of us. We both had tons of things going on. But very rarely were we ever apart. She loved life, lived it to the fullest. Never had a face that didn't have a smile on it. Was always willing to help anybody with anything. She loved life. She blessed me with 2 new boys in my life that I'm proud to say are my sons. I consider them my boys too. She'd come and watch me play softball, even though I knew she didn't totally understand it. That she was there too. It was something that I liked to do and something that I'd been doing for a long time. And she had asked questions like, what's an error? Why don't you run around all the bases when you hit a home run? Why do you just walk to first and then call it good? I said that takes too much time. And she's like, okay. And she was there every Tuesday. She was my cheerleader. As time went on, she got to where she understood ball a little better, and she even actually kept score one time. She kept yelling at me, telling me, hey, who's that? Hey, who's that? She didn't know everybody, but she knew what was going on. And she was my cheerleader. We was always together. And very rarely did you see me without her or her without me. I loved every minute of it. Every minute of my life making her happy, which in turn made me happy. There was nothing better for me in the morning to come home from work and see a smile. And she'd just lay it on me about what she had done, what the cats had done, what the dogs had done while I was gone to work. Yeah. The goats. She had one when we lived here in Huntington at first, and we had to put him down because of an accident. And so she kept telling me, I want another goat. So I got another goat for her, a little pygmy, and that's the one out here in the pictures. Her name's Molly. She loves Molly. Maybe too much sometimes, as the pictures can tell. I went to bed one morning after graveyard, and there was one goat. When I woke up at 3, I didn't know what the hell would happen, but holy shit, there was 2 more. And I'm like, where did the other goats come from? She's like, it's the chicken math. I'm like, what the hell does chickens have anything to do with it? It's goats. And that was the only answer that I'd ever get from her, was it was the chicken math. And I'm like, okay, well, you're happy, you love it, I'm okay with it. And we were both finally happy together, happy with where we were, happy with each other, happy with our lives. As chaotic and hectic as it was at times, it was ours. I did my damnedest, tried my ass off to give her the most comfortable life that she could ever want and that it would ever be. And I was totally okay with that. I loved seeing her smile. I loved knowing that I put that smile on her face. I have so many fantastic memories that I could talk for a week straight. And you might hear one or two again, but I was part of so many firsts in her life. She'd never been to a pro ball field, so we went and watched a pro baseball game. She'd never been to the bottom of the dam at Flaming Gorge. And I told her, I says, well, don't get caught swimming in it because you'll get your ass in trouble. I know. And she was always ready to go whenever I needed something. It didn't matter if I'd left my radio home from work, I'd call her and she'd jump in the truck and bring it. There was times that I'd run out of the bathhouse in my underwear and flip-flops just to go get my radio. And she's like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, it's coal miners, who gives a shit? And she'd just shake her head and smile and tell me to get my ass back in there. I was going to get cold. And I'm like, yeah, right. Another one is when we first moved out to Emory, the house has got a fireplace in it. It didn't have a grate in the fireplace. So I told her, I said, well, I'll go weld a grate up and I'll build a grate and we'll have a grate for it. She's like, all right. She was in the house doing whatever. And it was about half hour into the little welding project and she come hauling ass out the door, yelling, babe, you gotta come quick, fix the sink. I'm like, what are you talking about? She says, the sink in the bathroom upstairs is broke, the water won't shut off. I'm like, what the hell? So, pull the hood up, drop the stinger, and away we go, run up there. And I get up there, and I look, and I start laughing. Well, whoever installed that faucet, installed it with the handles to be off, looked like they was open. So she would open one and turn it off, and holy shit, there's still water. So she would turn the other one on and back and forth. She said that she sat there for 5 minutes trying to get the water to turn off, and she couldn't turn them both the same way at once. I just laughed. I reached out, turned them off, and she's like, oh shit. I told her, I says, I love you. Gave her a kiss. She says, nobody knows about this shit. I'm like, yeah, gotcha. She loved throwing darts. When it was dart day, she was already up and ready to go. And my lazy ass would still be sleeping because I'd worked all night. Alarm would go off and she'd be kicking me out of the bed. Come on, it's time. Let's go. And I remember the first time that she threw her very first hat trick. It wasn't even in a league game, but it was her playing me. And she was so proud that she whipped my ass. 150 points and 3 darts. Don't take long to lose there. But she took like 10 or 15 pictures of all 3 darts in the bullseye. Every angle that she could get, from the bottom, from the sides, the scoreboard, everything. She was so happy about that. And all I could do was just sit and giggle and laugh at her. Well, and I know that she was proud of her boys. She loved you guys very much. And like I've told you, you know, you guys didn't see it a lot when you wasn't there. She was all she talked about. That and her goats and darts. But you guys was at the top of the list. And I know that you guys know that she loves you. She'll always love you. And I'll always love you too. You guys are a part of my life. And you always will be. And I'm actually pretty surprised that I'm doing as good as I am. A couple minor cuss words, but minimal crying. So I think she'd be okay with that. I know it's going to be hard. I miss her so bad, it's unreal. It took me 2 days to go home to even be able to go to the house. And I know that she's probably not not too enthused about the amount of alcohol consumption that's happened to the house, but probably just because she ain't there to help. And I love you, Papa. I'm thankful for everybody that came, everybody that's here, everybody that supported me, my boys, family. I can't thank you guys enough. And I know that I don't even have to call. All I gotta do is just look at you guys. And I know that you guys will be there. Everybody. But I know. I was over there pointing at your watch. I just looked and I'm like, okay. That's the great memories I'm going to share with you right now. I consider myself totally blessed and completely lucky to have had her be a part of my life. And I was happy to be a part of hers. I'm proud as hell.
It's a beautiful tribute. Thank you, Jeremy. This is the time where those of you that have a special memory that you'd like to come up and share, we're just going to leave it up to you guys for a few minutes and see how we go.
Okay, when we were younger, every time we went to my dad's house or Shelley's house, we'd always get in trouble with Amber. Amber would always get us in trouble too. Well, every time we went over there, we would always go down to the zebras. We had to. Well, you know how they had the dip? Well, we had to go through the dip as fast as what we could. Well, we have to go to Maverick. We have to get drinks before you go. So you always had a drink. Well, when you jumped where the zebras were, our drinks would slam against the top of the roof. You couldn't drink your drink no more because their straws broke. So all of us girls are laughing and giggling. Well, of course, you have to go back to Maverick so you could go get your straws so you could drink your drink. Oh. We gotta go Maverick. Hey, everybody doesn't need our newer secrets. Our straw broke. That's all. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, we had to make it to where there wasn't a reason why we couldn't drink our coffee.
So a lot of people don't remember me. Amber and I were like best friends from like elementary on. Always at Randy's house and his mom. We were always hanging out there, always. And the one thing I remember, everybody who knows Amber knows she's afraid of clowns. And I hate to admit I'm the reason why, because I insisted she had watched the movie It with me at Randy's house. And so that was like the only thing that I remember like that sticks out. She's always, I hate clowns.
Well, excuse me. When her and Nick first started going out, she would come to the house all the time. And when Nick graduated and he went to Iraq, we were always together. She would come over all the time with the kids, and she just kind of blended in with everybody else. And there was this one time when Nick was deployed, all of us went to Vegas. And we had gone out to the water parks and everything, and everybody's just having a blast. And Matt and all the kids had gone over, and he did that bungee jump thing. And so we have these pictures, and if you've seen everybody, it was so cute because here's all these kids and lined up watching him jump off this thing with the bungee, and every one of them were standing there with their mouths open. So then everybody's really tired. We go back to the room, and everybody's watching movies, and they're all sitting in front of the television. She's right in the middle of all these kids, just watching. And it was so cute, and she was always so good with the kids. She would come over, and some of the big kids would bring like our grandkids, and she would stay there with them, and she would stay at the house with them and just have lots of fun. And so she was probably 15 then, and so it's been a while. She's been in our family, and so we will miss her a lot. She was a very sweet spirit.
Hi everyone, my name is Kendra Amick. I'm Amber's cousin. I can't use it.
For those of you who don't know who I am, I want to start off by saying thank you to everyone who joined us here today to help us say goodbye to her. This has been a difficult experience to lose her so soon, and I just want to express our appreciation for all of you being here during this tough time.
Growing up living in Oregon, I didn't see Amber often, but when I did, it was always such a refreshing experience, as literally you all probably know. She was always so kind and willing to help those around her, which are just some small, simple details we all should aspire to do daily in her memory. Be kind, say hello, help a friend in need, and always say I love you. You just never know. A memory that is forever locked in my heart that I just wanted to share was in 2017 at Twyla's wedding, right before the ceremony. Amber came up to me and had something she needed to give me. She said it was for Mikey, but it was a necklace with the Eiffel Tower on it. Realizing that she remembered how much I've always dreamt of going to Paris, or that she remembered my childhood bedroom from many years ago being decorated with Eiffel Towers, this made me realize that even with the distance between us, she held such a special role to me as my older cousin. After her passing, I am being told that her and I were even more common than I thought, especially now with the goats and just wanting to have all the animals. We are being referred to as the ones with the big hearts just trying to keep our family together, which is a great thing, but have you met all of us? Lastly, I want to say thank you to my beautiful cousin Amber for all the love, smiles, and memories that you generously gave to each and every one of us. Your boys were lucky to call you mom, and we are all lucky to call you family. Your life was painfully cut short, but the memory with you will last a lifetime.
Hi, my name is Destiny, and me and Amber met when I was still in high school. We became neighbors, and from the day I moved in, she was just there. She was that person that was always there. She wasn't judgmental. She wasn't going to say, oh, you're wrong, or like look down on you for the choices you made. She was the person that would be right there behind your back, giving you encouragement to do the right thing, and then just help you anywhere you need it. And I moved back to Emory County. Me and Amber started hanging out again. And the minute I walked through Shania's door and I seen her standing there, I just gave her the biggest hug. And it just flushed back all those memories I've had of her. Me and her going to like color parade. And I remember hanging out with the boys when the boys were really super little. I don't have all that much memories right now because I'm just shook and my brain's just gone. But as a friend of Amber, I would feel wrong if I didn't just get up here and say that I just love her and I miss her. And she really was the person that put a smile on everyone's face. You'll be missed, Amber, and I love you.
Amber's been in our life now for over 4 years, and we've all grown to love her. There's always a sweet smile on her face. And one thing Jeremy said, I heard it through somebody else, but he says, I seen her and she doesn't have a smile on her face. I says, well, that kind of looks funny to see a dead body smiling. So it's freak everybody out. Amber's just the sweetest girl I've known for a long time. She always called me Mama. I played on the dart league last year, this year, whatever, this last year that we had. And my shirt says Mama on it. So everybody in the whole league would call me Mama. They didn't know who I was, just Mama. And I'm sure that came from Amber. She always had a smile. She always had a laugh. She was always so friendly and so loving. And our families grow to love her a lot. And we will miss not having her around. I know that she will always be there for us when we need her, and her spirit will always be there. She loved candy, and she knew I did. She's always wanting a candy or a drink or something, and one of the last times I seen her, she come up to me and she says, Mama, Mama, she says, I know you love them. She says, I had to get them for you. And I said, oh, you're just so wonderful. They are one of my favorites. So, but she just always done so much. She was always anxious to see us, and she always brought her boys, and she was always so proud of her boys. I love that. She said, tell Grandma goodbye, or tell Grandma hello, and they just ruined my heart. And I love you, Jakey. I love you, Mikey. You know, and I'm Grandma, and I will always be Grandma. But I just wanted to say that it's really hard, and it's going to be hard, but she'll always be there with us, and that's what I wanted to share my memory of. But thank you.
Is there anyone else? I feel like I'm going to cut somebody off. If that's you, come on. Okay. Privilege for me to be able to give some conclusion. And I hope that they'll... You want to? Come on, honey. There. You're short, but you'll do it.
I remember when I was making a bracelet for my dad with Amber, and we kept on going to see if it would fit him, but it did every single time, but we had to turn it into a keychain because it didn't fit.
See, we had to have that. Is there anyone else? You guys can't see, most of you, but there's a little one up here that is just so excited. And he has kind of prompted me to share a couple of things. The one thing that he's prompted me to do is I've reflected on heaven. I've done that many times throughout my life. What is heaven? Is it real? My heart says it's real, and it convinces my mind. But what is heaven? I thought about it, and everything that brings us joy and happiness in this life must be there, or it wouldn't be heaven. So I know that my dog Barney is there. He's got to be. I don't know why, but every time I hold a little one like this and I watch them, even if they weren't mine, little babies, little kids just bring so much joy. Their wonder at learning and exploring is phenomenal. They bring joy. There must be babies in heaven. That's why we lose them here. I watched when my kids entered those teenage years. Boy, was that hard. I'm glad I let them live because I have grandkids. But boy, was that hard. And I watched as they experienced making decisions and choices on their own. Heaven wouldn't be heaven without them. And then I've watched them as they've gotten married and they've got kids, and they're just kind of right in the middle, so busy with life and doing such a great job. And then something like this happens. But for people like Amber, heaven wouldn't be heaven if she wasn't there. I want you to think about your grandma and grandpa. You might be lucky enough to still have them here, and they may have passed on. But imagine, you can understand how sweet and how loving Grandma always was. And my grandkids gave me a shirt that says, Grandpa knows everything, and if he doesn't, he makes it up fast. That's being a grandpa. Heaven wouldn't be heaven without those people. Now, I don't know why some little children, including our grandson, is one of those special ones that Heavenly Father called home early to make heaven what it needs to be. I don't know why some of these kids in their youth, just learning and just growing, or some of them that are in their adulthood and making decisions and choices, and Heavenly Father says, I need this one. She'll bring great joy. I don't know why, but I know it's true. Many, many years ago, as I stood at a gravesite of one very similar to this situation, there was a pastor there. He said something that I have never forgotten, and it's been almost 40 years. I've been doing this a long time. He said, never put a question mark where God has placed a period. In the scriptures, I'm not trying to preach to you, but I believe them. Ecclesiastes tells us that there's a time to everything under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die. I'm not exactly sure why that time comes so differently for each one of us, but I know it comes. I know it's there, and I would hope that you don't miss one opportunity to share with those that are around you that you love them. If you feel a need to do something kind for someone, do it. Because we never know when God says, I need that one to make heaven heaven. Maybe I can illustrate it this way. Before she died, she loved to crochet and cross stitch, and she made pillowcases for, I think, great-great-great-great-grandchildren that she never even knew, but there was a whole cedar chest, nothing but pillowcases from Grandma. So mine, I kind of twisted and turned it a little bit, and my pillowcase became a little angel to watch over us. And Grandma does this cross-stitching, which is beautiful. I don't know, it's not a lot more, but it's making little stitches that make beautiful designs. And you of this faith reminds me to have faith. When you look on the underside of this, you can kind of tell what it is. But it's just a bunch of knots. It doesn't just look right. This side does. I think this is what I can maybe represent for us here. I think that everything we do, every experience we have, everyone we meet, everyone we love, I think all of those are part of this tapestry that's being woven in heaven for each one of us. It says the angels keep track over it. The problem is that we're looking at it from the bottom side. When we look upwards, that tapestry that is being made kind of, well, doesn't look quite right. It's just got just a bunch of knots. But on the other side, I'm convinced that every stitch is exactly where it needs to be to make that pattern. I know that Amber's tapestry was completed when this last stitch was made. Gosh, we're just looking at the knots. It doesn't make sense. Can I ask you to please just do one thing, and that is, don't put a question mark in the tapestry of her life where God has placed that final stitch. And each one of us and the experiences that we're having are doing the same. And sometimes we even look up at our own and it just looks kind of messy and knots, and I don't understand it. But that's what faith is. Faith is believing and trusting in something that we can't see, that we can't feel, but that our heart says is real. Amber's spirit continues to live. She's one of those that graces heaven, and now heaven is that much brighter and that much happier because of her smile and her quirks. The special thing is that she's able to now be with each one of you. You'll feel a part of her, and as you go through life, little things will remind you. Sometimes it's a smell, sometimes it's a car, sometimes it's just a thought. When you have them, hold tight to them, because the memories that she has shared, and she's done well, I can tell, the memories are precious. And trust me, in time, those memories that kind of hurt right now are going to be the ones that you love, that you giggle and laugh about and hold on to. There's a poem that talks about a ship, and it says that it's an object of beauty and strength. And as we watch sail from port, as it goes away, it just looks smaller and smaller and smaller until out over the horizon it's disappeared. And people at my site say, well, there, she's gone. But gone where? She's just as large in hull and mast as she was when she left the port. The change is in me. And just as we're saying, there she goes, there's somebody on another shore watching, and they see a little dot, and as it comes closer, it gets bigger and bigger. And those are the ones that are saying, welcome home. You will all have an angel in amber at that point in time when our life is complete to say welcome home. I know that these things are true. My knowledge started with faith, and faith became my knowledge. So I testify to you that God lives, and because He lives, Amber lives. And each one of us will one day, I don't know if He had said, here, we'll send a plane, or we'll send a boat, or we'll send a car and bring us back, maybe we would have looked at things different. But death is the way He separates the spirit from the body and brings us home. And if she's not in your arms, who's better than Jesus Christ and our Father in heaven? They'll take care of her until you get there. But until then, make every day count. Live every day. Live in such a way that when the night comes, your head rests the pillow, you can say, good day. Don't leave things undone. Tomorrow is not promised for any of us. I hope that you'll feel that same spirit, that same love that she's always shared. It's still there. She may not be, but her spirit is. And she'll be with you. And I testify to you that this is true. And I share my remarks with you in the name of our Savior Jesus Christ. Amen. Now, if this one works, we have a song.
Tell me something, girl. Are you happy in this modern world? Or do you need more? Is there something else you're searching for? I'm falling. In all the good times I found myself belonging. And in the bad times I feel myself. Tell me something, aren't you tired trying to fill that void? Or do you need more? When it hurt me then so hard
As we conclude, we've got a few instructions to maybe take care of. First, I want to acknowledge those who are pallbearers, and that's Jacob Hunsaker, Jeremy Behling, Ricky Ewell, Kirk Herrick, Michael Hunsaker, Jay Behling, Randy Smith, and Matthew Behling. We have honorary pallbearers of Bill and Jim Seal, Xander Johnson, Thomas Behling, Mick Chaffin, Joshua Rodriguez, Alden Behling, and Matthias Behling. As we conclude, we're going to invite those that I've just mentioned, the pallbearers, to please exit on this side and join us out in the lobby right by the two doors. We'll bring the casket to you. It gets very narrow going through. We'll use your assistance in placing the casket in the hearse. And then I'm going to invite everybody to please follow to the Castledale Cemetery where the interment will take place. I'll warn you, I drive really slow. So if you get caught at a light or something, don't worry, you'll catch me. If you get there before me, try and not second guess where the hearse needs to go. Maybe park on the outside of the cemetery. But it's easiest if you follow, because we won't start without me being there anyway. So we'd invite you to follow us. We'll conclude by doing double duty. Sandy Behling gave a beautiful family prayer, and we'll ask her to come up and close the services here, and then we'll make our way to the cemetery.
Our Father in heaven, we thank Thee, Father, for the beautiful spirit of Amber and for all that she has brought into our lives. We thank Thee, Father, for the family. And we ask Thee, Father, to bless us, bless each and every one with Thy spirit of comfort and joy and peace. Help us to know that Amber can be by our sides or in our heart or our mind to help us and to guide us. We thank Thee for the proceedings here and for the beautiful spirit that we felt. We pray, Father, that Thou would watch over us. And as we travel to the cemetery, that Thou will bless us with protection and peace. We pray that Thou would continue to help us as we try to be happy and keep Amber in our hearts. We thank Thee for this beautiful day and for all that Thou hast done for us. And we say these things in the name of Thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Well, congratulations for Christmas.
Oh, okay.